Today, Mars is a dead world, but one day it may make a second home for humanity. This is accomplished through the terraforming, or changing the conditions on the surface to be closer to those on our own planet. Several factors make Mars uninhabitable today. The average temperature on the surface is well below freezing because Mars exists far enough away from the sun that it is much colder than Earth, and because its thin atmosphere doesn't retain as much heat from the sun. Mars' molten core stopped moving and generating a magnetic field millions of years ago, so it is very exposed to solar winds and solar radiation. And Mars' thin atmosphere is composed mostly of carbon dioxide. Though Mars is very different from our own planet, it is also more similar than we might think. The Martian day is very close to Earth's at 24 hours and 39 minutes. Mars has similar seasons to the Earth. Recent observations by NASA's Mars Exploration Rover and the Phoenix lander confirm the presence of water on Mars. In short, Mars appears to have all the qualities that would be necessary for terraforming. These similarities make the red planet a viable candidate for a second home. The two biggest changes that would be required to make Mars habitable would be building the atmosphere and heating the surface. Introducing hydrogen to Mars would create heat, water, and graphite via the Bosch reaction. To create a thicker atmosphere, vast amounts of water would have to be imported. As the atmosphere grew thicker and the planet warmed, rockets loaded with algae spores would be crashed onto the surface. The algae would produce oxygen and warm the planet because its darker color would absorb more sunlight. As the planet warmed, CO2 in the ice caps would sublime into the atmosphere, helping to strengthen it and making Mars a warmer place. Rockets loaded with chlorofluorocarbons and other greenhouse gases would be launched at the Martian surface. These would also help strengthen the atmosphere. Though the technology is years away, Mars is a viable candidate because the processes of heating and building the atmosphere would augment each other. Over hundreds of years, new flora and fauna could be introduced to the surface of Mars, and humanity would have a second home in the stars.